Hello everybody, we are back at it again in the United States on our modded series in the Midwest region. Welcome back. So just like always, we're here to make more money, we're here to fix some things up, and we have all our cities connected. Just a reminder, in case if anybody is new, we have all our cities connected. We just need to figure out what to really do to occupy our time, because right now people are just going back and forth. We're making our money just fine, as you can see in the bottom left corner. So all our vehicles are up to their proper conditions. We can do some upgrades later with like Huntsville Stone Line and stuff like that, but it's really not necessary as of right now. As for our lines, we basically have all our lines making money right now. I think we just edited the Rochester-Cleveland line. It seems it's having the issue with losing a little bit of money. Once again, this is because it's such a long line that it doesn't upgrade or it doesn't update for the time of which it's calculated. So it will make us money. But it looks like a few just little small lines aren't making us as much money as we wanted to. But after that, everything's making us money, and our boat line is making us money. It has been a while since that boat line has, actually made money. It's been losing us money forever and ever. So it seems like we're on a good track. If at anything, all I need to do is delete this one of these vehicles in this line along with the Cambridge Pink line. Okay, so I've been sitting here for a while and I just haven't been able to figure out what to do. And I think I may have figured it out. It's maybe not worth all our time, but we're probably gonna just do it anyway. So over here we got Huntsville, right? We have two trains that go in between Huntsville and Wichita. Now, some of those people that come to Wichita actually come from Anchorage. And now, I guess you could also say Lexington because we just connected that up, I think, 2 episodes ago. So as it is, it does get a lot of attention down here. We are keeping up with the demand just fine, but what I want to end up doing is I want to connect Huntsville. I think I want to connect it over to Anchorage. I think that would be a cool way to go. So if we're going to get into that, I'm going to do a speed build because it's going to involve some complexity of trying to figure out everything. So let's go ahead and do that right now. Okay, so welcome back. We just figured out everything. I got the line connected. We just need to buy our locomotive, but I'm going to go over real quick everything that we did. So we had to redesign this whole entire Huntsville train station. And what we ended up doing is we actually ended up moving, and I'll show you here, our Huntsville-Wichita line so it doesn't pull into the first station of the train station, or the first terminal, I should say. And it actually instead moves into the 4th. So it's actually closer to the side of where it comes in at. So it was just really a better way to simplify things. And we also decided to move our Anchorage line, which is our new line, to bring it in straight through our first one, just because that's the closest side that it's coming on. It just makes a lot more sense. And then we had to make sure our train depot actually connected to everything, so therefore it connects to number 3 and 4 terminal, along with number 2 and 1 terminal. So everything is connected, everything is good. We had to also make sure that none of our trains were going to stop right over here, like way too far away, which would cause a whole issue in itself. And along with over here where our trains intercept by our tools delivery area, which obviously needs another vehicle to, move things around, which I'll do off camera. But let's go ahead and buy our locomotive for now. One thing that I could also do is just end up putting the train depot here and connect it up with Anchorage, but since it's already connected over in Huntsville, I'll just do it there. So for now, I think we'll just go with the Atlantic and throw on about 4 of these guys, which has a capacity of 80. I could also just do a capacity of 60, but we'll just go ahead, say screw it, we have enough money, and let's connect it up. And then everything should work out. The only thing that we have to be careful for now is that we need to make sure that the Wichita line, we need to make sure, since we have 2 locomotives for that their demand doesn't slow down to where we start to lose money. Because some of the people from Anchorage, and I think it was from Lexington, may be going up to Wichita to do a connection trip. So we just got to keep an eye on that. But other than that, we're going to get into something else, hopefully, and we're going to keep looking out for stupid small issues that we can fix is really what it comes down to. Because that is also fun to deal with. It's just trying to overcomplicate things and spend money for no reason. So let's go ahead and do that. Alright, so I'm looking at things. There's really nothing too much to change. Unfortunately, that's the case right now. But Cleveland and Fremont, I feel like we need to give it an upgrade. Because right now it carries 80 people, and sometimes it leaves about like 10 people at the station in Fremont. I'm actually going to go ahead and check to see what it's like over in Cleveland. Yeah, so I mean, like, they transport around enough, but the train just needs a little bit of help. It's getting old, so it's not that bad. But we might as well just go ahead and change it to the Atlantic, and make sure it still carries at least 80 people across the area. So it will just go back and forth quicker, which means more money in our pockets for when it comes to transporting people via bus. So there we go. We're just going to give it a little bit of an upgrade. So I saw another issue with the Cleveland Blue Line, and there's a lot of people waiting at the station. I'm going to add another extension to this so people don't complain as much. Oops. The main reason behind that is because when the trains come over to drop off, the majority of people go for the Blue Line. So we just want to make sure that there's not a huge issue with Cleveland getting mad that the stations are bad. So we want to make sure we keep that at very good so it can keep growing the way it is. Okay, I spotted another project. And I think I'm just going to do it for the hell of it, because there's nothing else going on right now. So that's 2 projects in one day. This one's not going to be entertaining. I'm not going to do a speed build, so I'm actually just going to snap my fingers, and then you're going to see the completed product. Okay, so I kind of lied. I thought I was going to have it done, but since I don't really explain the thinking a lot of the time as I'm building, I thought I could probably do it with this one, right? This is what we got right now. We have this stone quarry up here that we are trying to get all the way down to this construction plant down here. What's going to end up happening from here is that we will have vehicles that will deliver through the main road over here and bring it into the city. Seems pretty alright, but this is a big hill, and trains don't do well climbing hills, and it's not like they can really climb steep ones either. So we have to try to figure out how to get this train down there properly. And I'm trying to figure that out right now as I'm doing this. And essentially what's going to end up happening is I'm going to have to probably dig through a tunnel through here and pull something like this crap off. And somehow kind of follow the hill all the way down to here. Yeah. Okay, so this is now what I have. This is kind of messy, but it comes down in a straight line and it's able to go through this tunnel, which leads out the other side, which we just basically have to bring down to the side of the mountain, which is going to be rather difficult, and then we have to bring it around this big ridge and everything else. So I think what I'm going to have to end up doing is basically having it go straight down as far as I can. And it should probably work out after this. I would imagine it would. Okay, cool. So I finished it. So we have our quarry. We come down here. We follow the other train track that leads into Huntsville. We come through this mountain, and then we kind of skim the side of it, but we try not to do any curves so our vehicle doesn't slow down too much. And then we kind of hit this curve, and yeah, we built a tunnel because we got money. And then we kind of just blew open the side of this mountain. Yeah, and then it leads all the way up here. So all we need to do is make sure we get a train for it. I'm just going to build a train depot over here because just why not? There's no need to really do too much else, right? So we'll just do this. Perfect. So everything is done, we just need to make our line. So we have our Cambridge Stone Line, and we just unlocked this awesome locomotive, which I really like myself, but it's really expensive. Good thing we have money. We're not going to use it in this scenario, I'm sorry, but we will use it in other scenarios as well. So I think our city of Cambridge accepts around 60 stone, or 60 construction material. So that means our depot over here can accept up to 120 stone. But I don't want to stress out the locomotive, so I'm only going to give it 8 carts, which is just about 3/4 of our projected allowance. Alright, so it's going to be sent off. Now we just have to connect our little delivery system, which we are going to use by adding one of these awesome guys in. There we go. So we put it in right there. And then we just completed our Cambridge delivery line. It's going to take a longer route. We could build a road in the future through these mountains as almost like a country road, like interstate. And then what I'm going to end up doing is adding, we can use these trucks with the stake trucks, which accepts, I think, yeah, accepts additional, which is really good, and it should work out totally fine. And for now, I'm just putting in 5 vehicles. We're obviously going to need to use more vehicles in the future, but for now, that is set. We now have another construction line done, or I should just say general cargo line done. You know, since I'm also at it, I'm actually going to replace the Huntsville Stone line because the vehicle's getting old anyway. So let's go ahead and replace it like the same locomotive as last time. We're going to add in 8 gondolas. There we go. So now Huntsville's going to have the extra boost as well, which means that in the future we will have to replace these trucks as well. Alright, so we just unlocked airports, so thankfully we will be able to send people from other cities without having to build roads, train tracks, or anything like that, which is awesome. And I was just coming over here to fix a line over in Rochester because there's a lot of fuel over here that they just needed another vehicle for. Alright, so I just noticed a very big issue which I didn't realize was a thing. Irving and Burbank, there's over 200 people waiting over at Irving, and there's only like 50 people that can be accepted over here. So before it actually hits the station, I'm going to pause it just so I can replace it. And we're just going to replace it with the Atlantic, make sure it can carry around 80 people. And it should be able to get back and forth quickly enough to where it's not an issue. We're going to replace that. I'm happy I actually caught that because I didn't think it was such a big issue. So that is one thing knocked off the list. And I have some exciting news. Anchorage just developed its first residential building that is more than 4 or 5 stories tall. It's pretty hefty, and it means that we're just moving into something a little bit more special, which is awesome. So I spotted out a new project for the next episode, and I think that's actually going to involve building a small airport over in Augusta, most likely. So we could probably connect up to Charlotte and Lexington, because these are the 3 cities that are hardest to get to. So we may look into that for next episode. But other than that, I don't think there's anything else to go over, so I thank you guys for watching this episode. If you did enjoy, please give me a thumbs up, as it would help support out the channel. If you're new, be sure to subscribe, and if you have any comments or suggestions, please leave them down below, and I will be sure to get to them. Other than that, I shall see you guys in the next episode. Goodbye.